I think the way that people are taught Scrum definitely fails a lot of product managers. And it's a controversial thing. I get a lot of certified Scrum trainers yelling at me online all day because they're like, no, it's the people who interpret them and use it wrong. But I think the way that we sell Scrum to organizations is what's wrong. We sell it by, hey, we're going to increase. Jeff Sutherland says this. He's like, we're going to increase your velocity by 400%. And what we're doing now is organizing an entire company around speed instead of around quality and around solving people's problems and goals. So I think there's a lot of work to be done. I don't think Scrum is a bad foundation to start with, but there's a lot of work we need to do now to reteach some people who've been using it and to help other organizations see the value and the outcomes that we're doing there instead of the outputs. And we're, with so many teams I go into, they're just driving headlong into Scrum. And there are some very capable product managers there who are asking, when do we concentrate on the goal? When do we do the vision? When do we do this work? And we're stifling them. We're not allowing them to succeed because we've subscribed them to a process that doesn't work for them for the right stage of their product. So I want to see teams taking it as a starting point and then adapting it to what they need. And I want to see organizations giving teams the freedom to do that. I think that's putting people in a really dangerous position right now, is the way that they're really harnessing Scrum. And it makes me really nervous about it. Like similarly, JIRA. I had a CEO say to me, we're going to use JIRA across the entire company, and I want everything to be in JIRA, including like the legal department's work. And JIRA is a tool, right? Like, it's not a tool to run an entire company on. It's a software development tool to negotiate projects. And is it the right tool? I don't know. I've used a Kanban board that works much better. So we focus, and what happens is when we use complicated sources like that, the role of the product manager becomes writing the best user story to put in JIRA instead of figuring out what the problem is, right? And we're judging them now by the things that we can see readily in JIRA rather than the things that they're actually doing. And their focus now gets taken away from doing their job really well and more to creating these outputs and these artifacts that people can read and that they perceive to be good. So I think we're distracting people from what is the good thing to do. Likewise, I think some of these tools that make it easier to experiment and get feedback get abused. Things like Google Sprints. While I think Google Sprints are great and they can really get people who have never experimented before into a way to experiment, a lot of people are using them to replace the big visioning and the big research stuff that they do need to do. Like, sometimes you need to do that. And I never advocate for people to spend 12 months researching stuff, but sometimes it doesn't take a week to get to a prototype. And instead, a lot of people are cramming this work into the 1 week and then moving on and running with it. And it's a good starting point, but it's not a good ending point, right? Like Google Sprints, you take the prototype, you test it, and then you keep doing it. Like maybe the next week you do another one, right? But nobody does it back to back. They see it as a one and done thing, and then they move on. So we abuse these tools, which I don't think have bad intentions or sometimes these underlying, they're not supposed to be used like that, basically, at the end of the day. But they look for it as an easy way out, an easy way to do experimentation, an easy way a fast way to get everything done. And you can kind of sacrifice the quality of what you're doing there for the speed in which you're doing it. So I think we need to move away from some of that stuff and really focus on, why are we using these tools, and is it the right time to use these tools? Same can be said for rapid prototyping. You only need to do rapid prototyping when you're testing an experience you've already proven is the right experience to concentrate on to make it better. But people are doing it too early. They're doing it when they don't know what the problem is. They're doing 12 prototypes instead of 2 prototypes that are worth testing. We abuse A/B testing as well. I did that too. Like, since it's fast to put out A/B testing, you see the quantity of tests you can put out. And once I worked with a company that they were like, well, we can't get in touch with customers to figure out what the problem is, so we'll just A/B test the front of our site like 45,000 times. No metrics moved, but it looked like we were doing something, right? So we're judging like the quantity of what we're doing. All these processes make it really easy to game the quantity of what we're doing rather than the quality of why we're doing it. So I think any tool like that, we need to step back and focus on using the right tools at the right time, depending on the stage of our product and when we need them. And I think all of these tools are useful when used well. but I don't see people using them well because it looks like they're trying to take a shortcut to do things quicker instead.